into the bamboo which already exists there. And also, since it's this is a terraced area, these plants could be things that are good for mulching or comfrey. So you can take that, and also wood and dead leaf material from here and feed it into here as mulch.
And I did want to say, for this, it would be drip irrigation, because the spray sprinkler would not be very good. So we could try to have it drip, because this is the slope, so as it comes in, we can incorporate either French drain or drip irrigation.
Yeah, that's
Try to get there.
that'd be long term, that could be short. And also this roof collects enormous water. That, if you can see, that whole back is one slope, so that could feed into there was a voice to desire to have internal water if somebody ends up living there. So that could be service to the house.
Let's wrap it up here with the implementation.
Yeah, that's everything together.
So basically, we don't have much of a budget, or don't need much of a budget, because we have a lot of existing infrastructure and are very resourceful and have been and will continue to be much available labor. A lot of labor on site. There's talk of like a food club, kind of like a work for food trade, and trading plants among other gardeners, local gardeners, and selling the surplus, because if we do put in all the berries that we've talked about, nobody's going to be able to eat all those, at least on the site. So, and berries actually, are quite profitable with not a lot of investment. The short-term evolution, we're going to improve the maintenance efficiency of the place, try to get flows down as direct as possible, extend planting areas into perennial guilds, so that less work, a lot of work in the annual gardens, and not so much work with perennial vegetables, and they get bigger and better every year. And encompassing non-edibles over time, like the ivy, and replacing them with edibles. Optimizing water, of course, because we have plenty of it, and as John's stated, we have problems in Cincinnati. And long-term growth, food forest, drought protection by having water storage on site, extended growing season, because we would like to grow all of our own food ideally. So greenhouse and solar appliances, which you'd be able to move from around the garden bed and put where you want them, basically where the food is already growing, and get an early start or later into the winter. Food dehydrator was mentioned as well for food storage. We have basements, and yeah, basically a big emphasis on minimum effort with maximum yield. Anything else like that?
The drive-through? Then go to the driveway?
Yeah,
The drive-through?
the driveway comes in off of Hamilton and goes on to 8. So you consider even having an on-site produce sale, and so people can pull through. Carrots.
Veggies by the pound.
So that's the end of ours.
Or do you have any questions? Criticism?
There's a whole lot we didn't get to, I can tell you.
That was good. That's really good. I like it.
A lot more to talk to you about, species list.
No, I really liked it. It's good. I can't think of any questions.
I have a question about the hangout fire area. I noticed when I've hung out over there, it is sort of hard to get to. You have to like walk down a hill.
The goat path?
So yeah, it's really out of the way. I'm wondering, did you consider, because it is a sink for a lot of the water on the site, did you consider turning it like moving the hangout area somewhere else and putting in either a pond or a rain garden or some other sort of like water enrichment there?
I feel comfortable touching on that. One of our primary recreation spaces are actually by the pool, and so this is more of like a community gathering. It'd be like equivalent to someone having a yard with a woods in the backyard, where they would have another additional hangout spot. So this is not the primary, but this is maybe a place of relaxation that is used.
If I may interject, it's aptly used, I think, during the summer times, later in the summer when you don't have as much water. It's the dry season, and so water isn't really an issue. For me, though, personally, I'm keen on apple trees, and when apples are going into the flowering period in the spring, it's not good for them to have wet feet at all. You can actually lose a whole crop like that. So that would be the biggest worry, is that the ground would hold too much water. But we have a diversion drain, and there's actually a storm drain right here. But you're right, an emphasis on using the water, slowing the water down way before it gets down to that bottom part of the property would be good. That driveway acts as a big impediment there as far as water hitting it and running right off because it's heavily compacted. And you can imagine how much gravel has been added to this all this back here.
You could have a border rain garden along, like that runs along the edge of the, on the edge of the driveway, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
when it comes, it kind of buffers it before it reaches the fence.
Another thought was actually have incorporated next to that bamboo would be to have a little pond space that would encourage lots of like cow lilies, cattails, kind of have an amphibious habitat as well.
Yeah, we didn't wanna disregard like all the work by humans and plants alike that had gone ahead of us, so we didn't try to redesign too much.
Yes, well,
What is the access from the community? Is there a fence around that so that it's mainly access from the homes?
There is a gate here, and but it's actually utilized quite a bit. It's the gate comes in, and you have level terrain, and you go around this little area. There's the tree and the bamboo, and then you go up the path normally. But there actually is. You scoot aside the duff. There's a little bit of a stair steps here. Those could be better developed, and then bring along this path and put in stair steps here, and then have this, and you can beautify the whole area because right now it's pretty much.
Well, I was just wondering about using it as an educational space or
Oh, yes.
sort of an outdoor classroom if there were access from outside.
we actually did use that as that function. We took a walk in the nearby woods, and we actually came gathered a couple of the members of us. We gathered down there and had a conversation around it. It wasn't swampy even in the winter, but next to if you went right next to the fence, you'd probably be getting a little bit muddy. So I don't find that there's necessarily too much intrusion from the water, but it's actually being currently used for a communal gathering space and could even become a communal gathering space for education.
I'll just follow up with some comments. I really like the designs. What program did you guys use?
That's
Native Photoshop.
Photoshop, yeah.
that was draw.
Yeah. You drew the whole, that's great. That's good. It looked really professional with, the overlays and the existing underlay. And you guys also did a really good job of utilizing everyone's resources and skills and talents and abilities and really putting to work. And then put it together in a full site design. And you guys did a really good job in terms of enhancing an existing site that already has quite a bit going on with it, with the motivated community, and really actually ramping it up a lot more, which some of the previous design we've had in older courses, similar situations, and it's really nice to see when it all comes together and it's actually really enhance and really make the site better and ultimately better for the community and everything. So really good job, guys.
There's actually an elementary school nearby too. We haven't had a lot of time to look into that, but it's something that I've recently considered.
As well as an
Outreach into
abandoned
that.
elementary school too.
Well, that's not there anymore.
I just really appreciate the focus on the flow. I think that's something when you're working with an existing site that has so many things going on already that we really just need a better flow, not just for water but for people and just for getting compost places. And I like that.
We didn't mention our 10-year south plan of if you'd wanna put a gate through here. This wall we keep talking about it's a fieldstone stacked wall, so it would probably allow, cut through it.
And I forgot to mention that eliminating the gate that's here between these two properties. One reason we want a lot of fences is because there are 2 dogs in the property, and so our owner expressed the interest in keeping those fences intact, but incorporating gates into the fences could allow humans to pass through.
Also, the utilization of just even along the garage, maximizing space utilization, really. That south greenhouse proposal and then keeping those flow through it really does enhance the site. And in these urban spots, it's really important to be able to utilize as much as possible. Space is great.
I chose most of those perennial annuals because she had a wildlife nuisance